He's a tough street-fighting lawyer with the highest ratings for honesty and integrity. He's here for you every Saturday morning to answer your legal questions and get you the help you need. You're listening to the Legal Lowdown with Birmingham's lawyer, Joe Ingram of Ingram Law, live from the studios of News Radio 105.5 WERC. Call in now, 439-9372. That's 439-9372, and ask Joe your legal question, or email the show at questions@joeingramlaw.com. Joe Ingram has more than 20 years experience fighting for his clients here in the state of Alabama. Joe's focus is criminal defense and family law. You don't have to face your legal issue alone. You've got Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, on your side. In case of sensitive legal matters, you can always reach out directly to Joe at joeingramlaw.com and arrange for a private consultation. And now, Birmingham's defender of the defenseless, protector of the people, and all-around good guy, Joe Ingram.
All right. You're listening to the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer. The Scotch-drinking, road-running street lawyer is here, back. They let me back in the studio again for week 2. We welcome you to join us and listen to the show on iHeartRadio or my podcast. We have a new introduction this week. I want to give a shout out to my agent, Kyle, for getting the music ready in a time crunch. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it so much. What started out as a podcast in a basement 2 years ago now is a live radio show just off the campus of UAB. 105.5 WERC FM Talk Radio for you and your legal needs. We want to become a part of your Saturday morning routine. Have a cup of coffee with us. Or you might be coming in from the bar. You might be having that last little glass, that last little sip of single malt scotch that we all love so much. If you are, take a Uber home. Maybe you're having a glass of eggnog with just a touch of nutmeg. Just a sprinkle of nutmeg. Maybe you're having eggs and bacon. Maybe you're having waffles and syrup, getting ready to take the kids out for their weekend activities. Maybe you're going to get the Christmas tree. Today's the 14th. You're getting a little late, folks. It's time to get the tree up. Maybe you're going Christmas shopping. Good news. We are 20 degrees warmer than we were this time last week. When I left the house, we had a full moon. We're about just over a week away from the shortest day of the year, which means every day starts getting longer after that. Thank goodness. This show is meant to be informative, educational, funny, witty, hopefully caller-driven, with your interests and local questions in mind. We encourage callers to call us at 205-439-9372. That is 205-439-WERC, or you can email us at the show, questions@joeingramlaw.com, questions@joeingramlaw.com. If you have a personal or confidential issue that you do not want to discuss on live radio, call us at my office, 205-335-2640, 205-506-5590, or you can look us up, joeingramlaw.com. We will be glad to have a conversation with you, get you in, and if we need to meet with you, we'll do that as well. This show is meant to give information, give you a voice, a chance to call in and ask questions and help you in your daily life, to provide quality and valuable informative information related to criminal law and family law issues. We will be glad to discuss legal issues that you will have, or if I can't, we will point you in the right direction from someone that I have developed a relationship with in my vast network of over 22 years of practicing law here in Alabama, my colleagues and contemporaries. All right, Birmingham, it's a wonderful Saturday morning. It's about 50 degrees. It's going to be a little cloudy. I'm going to get out and do my run here at 8:30. Last week I ran 10 miles. I was so excited to get through the first show. I really was. So that's where we start. Let's talk a little bit just about me as an introduction. I'm an attorney. I've been practicing law in Alabama for 22 years. I handle cases from Huntsville, Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, and even Dothan if you have serious money. It's a little joke inside. You'll get it if you know what I'm talking about. So let's talk a bit about criminal law. We do juvenile cases. If you listen to my commercials, I was a juvenile delinquent. I spent homeroom in the principal's office almost every day. Yes. Everything I did wasn't really bad. It was just stupid kid stuff. Today, we have criminalized, codified, statute, everything under the sun. It's not right. I have a heart to help juvenile people charged with crimes. If you have a young person in your life and they're facing that situation, give us a call. I help you. We'll get you what we need to do to put you in the right position. We also handle municipal court cases, DUIs, possession of drugs, domestic violence cases, shoplifting. Everybody goes to the Walgreens, Lowe's, CVS. They have the self-checkout aisle now because everybody's too cheap to employ people. They put it back on you. I have it happen. You didn't scan an item. You go home. You throw your receipt away. 2 months later, you get arrested. Hey, I think you're shoplifting from the CVS or the Walmart. What? That's where you meet me. Yep, that's where you meet me. We also handle state criminal cases all over the state, felony cases, burglary, robbery, theft of property, serious crime cases, murder, manslaughter, sex cases, those type of cases. We handle federal cases all over the state. You might be charged as a felon in possession of a firearm. You might be charged in a federal drug ring. You might be facing a case for threatening a public official. Had a couple of those cases as well. So those are the primary cases that we do in federal, criminal, state court, and municipal court. Also, if you have a conviction for a federal or a state case and you're looking to expunge it, we can do an expungement on your behalf. We have to look at the statutes, make sure there's not an exception, that there's not a crime of violence. If we can, we'll do an expungement for you. This is a really important point this morning. What is justice? What is mercy? Can two be one in the same? Can it be significantly different depending on the case, the person, their background, their problem, their legal issue? What is mercy? Everybody talks about justice. We also need mercy tempered with justice as well. That is my job every day, is to make sure those that need a voice to be heard get mercy in a courtroom. Also, let's talk about family law. What falls under family law, Joe? Well, obviously divorce. Those are coming after the first of the year. Everybody's going to get through Christmas, and then they're going to go, hello, it's time to go call the divorce lawyer. I'm getting out of this. Look around on Christmas Eve. Look who is the most happiest person at the table. Check their cell phone. See if they've called a divorce lawyer or already set up their consultation. It's coming. They're going to get a divorce. Those are already lining up for me, first of the year. We're booking people almost into February. We do child custody cases. Child custody cases, yes. We won a really big case this week for a child custody case. Really important case. The parent won custody of an 8-year-old child. For the next 11 years, we have fixed how that child is going to be raised, developed, what kind of future that child will have. It was very rewarding as a lawyer to be a part of that. Made my day, made my week. The person stood up, said, Mr. Ingram, can I hug you? Thank you so much for everything you've done for me for almost the last year. It's been my honor, thank you, to allow me to be a part of your life and your journey and your history. And then he said to me, it's almost overwhelming. Can I hug you? Yes, please. Please hug me. And then he cried. Mr. Ingram, you don't know this. I believe you were sent by God to be my child's angel, his guardian angel. This isn't a religious show. I'm not going to go there. But I do believe, based on my background, my history, my philosophy, my story, the case meant a lot to me. Every case is important to me. And I'm glad we planted the flag and claimed total victory. We also do alimony cases. We also handle termination of alimony. Maybe your ex-spouse is collecting alimony from you. Maybe they're cohabitating with another person. They're living in the house. They got a remote to the garage door. They pull in every morning. They pull out every afternoon. They're in and out of the house. Maybe they're paying some utility bills. We can fix that. We get an investigator. We prove it. We show it. We show a pattern of behavior. We get rid of the alimony. We've done a couple of those cases. One gentleman, if you go listen to my podcast, saved him alimony probably for the next 20 to 30 years. Probably $200,000 or $300,000. It's real money to me. $300,000 invested in the stock market for 30 years. Hello, at 7%. It's probably worth $900,000 to him. I think it was a good investment in me. So we handle family court cases. We handle child custody cases. Sometimes it's uncontested divorces. Sometimes it's contested divorces. What's the difference? Uncontested, the two of you have reached an agreement on all issues. We draw up the paperwork. You sign it. We submit it. The court signs it. You're divorced. Contested means there's issues to fight about. The biggest issues to fight about are children, visitation, money, and the dog. Everybody fights about the dog now. I don't know why. Everybody fights over Fido. Okay, enough about me. This is where we're headed today. We have a good lineup. This is where our outline is today. We may have a guest at 6:30, and at the top of hour 7:05, we have a really good private investigator that is going to join us and talk about some really serious topics under criminal law and family law. Why do you need a private investigator? Why do you use a private investigator every day, Joe, in your cases? They're really important. They're really needed. There's not that many out there right now, but we're hoping they're going to call in and join us. We're going to do that. So we're also developing some segments along the way the next few weeks, folks. Two that I think you're going to love. Joe, how do you know that? Joe, how do you know that? I get that every week. Joe, how do you know that? I'm going to show you. Questions, quick questions. Mr. Ingram, I have a quick question. Can I talk to you? Yes, sir. Do you have any money to hire a lawyer? No, I have no money. Have no money. I'm broke. Dead broke. I have a quick question. Can I get a legal opinion? Can't give you legal advice over the phone. That'll get me in trouble, but I'll listen to you and see if I can point you in the right direction. Quick question of the week. We got one of those this week. I love it. That's one of the segments we're working on. So, again, this is the Legal Lowdown. Joe Ingram, 1055 WERC, 439-9372, 439 WERC. Call the office, 205-335-2640, 205-506-5590. Questions at joeingramlaw.com. Questions at joeingramlaw.com. We'll point you in the right direction if we cannot help you today. So, in the first hour, we're going to go back. We're going to talk about two issues from last week. We're going to talk about the Christmas party again in a little different way. And then we're going to hit another topic. We're going to talk about Christmas visitation with the children, with the little kiddies. It was so important, so informative, got so much feedback last week. We're going to hit it again. We're going to talk about that. But for the next few minutes, let's talk about legal news in the paper this week. The legal stories you hear every week on your station, whatever format you get your news from. What do you think about the Daniel Penny case up in New York? The gentleman charged with manslaughter on the subway. If you followed the story, a week ago, the jury said, can't reach a decision. We're hung. Can't do nothing. DA said, I don't like this, Judge. Let's do a lesser included offense. Make them come back, reconvene, see if we can get a conviction out of this on Monday. Let's split the baby is what we call it. We can't get him for this. Let's get him for something. Okay. Good news. Good news as a criminal defense attorney. Monday, jury comes back, not guilty. Now, I can argue this either way with you folks. I don't care what side of the issue you're on, whether he should have subdued the person or if you thought he used excessive force and it was a crime. I think it was the right call to make. I really do. But I'll be glad to talk to you about it either way. Also, hey, have you followed the story about the Georgia prosecutor, Fani Willis? Hello? Why is a state prosecutor meeting with a special counsel, Jack Smith, in Washington, D.C.? Why did she get all the federal grant money? Where are her records? She has refused to give any records. They said she was properly served with a subpoena. She's refusing to give up the documents. You know what this is? This is 1980 all over again. This is Colonel Oliver North, the Marine that was under President Reagan, the Iran-Contra scheme. They walk in with a subpoena, the feds. He's shredding documents as they're standing there. What are you doing? I'm shredding documents. Don't you see them? Now, it's a little different, a little more high-tech. We have computers. We have the cloud. We have servers. Unless they're just deleting them with bleach bit, hammers, whatever you do, destroying it. Maybe there's a paper trail. Or maybe you want to talk about the pardons that Joe Biden is issued this week. He issued 1,500 pardons to people of a lot of crimes. Now, I am not saying as a defense lawyer that people do not deserve a second chance, second bite at the apple. They have been rehabilitated. They have taken classes, got a GED, maybe earned a college degree, developed skills, deserve a second chance. I'm all for that, 100%. But some of the pardons, when you read the stories, how did you pick those guys to let out, or the women? I don't know. If you want to talk any of those stories, give us a call. Tell us what you think. Daniel Penny, Fani Willis, or the pardons by Joe Biden. We'll talk about those as well. So, it's 6:26 in the morning. This is Legal Lowdown. 205-439-9372, 205-439-WERC. I think we got a caller calling in. Caroline's calling in. Caroline has an issue. Caroline, you with us?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Caroline. How are you?
Doing well. Have a problem, though.
I'm sorry to hear that, Caroline. Thank you for calling in, listening to the show. I appreciate you taking the opportunity to do this. Caroline, what's your issue?
I went through my son's phone. He's 16 years old, and I found pictures of he and girls nude. Should I be worried?
Wow. That's a tough subject, Caroline. I'm not going to ask you a lot of questions. Call the office. This week I'll talk to you off the air. Thank you for calling in, Caroline. I sympathize with you. Folks, if you don't know, October 1 of this year, a new law came into effect called the Alabama Child Protection Act. It's really important. It's really, really important. If you have digital images on your phone and they are considered pornographic or making child porn in any way, and you distribute them, you send them by text message, Snapchat, Instagram, direct message, and you get in trouble, those are no longer juvenile crimes. Those are state crimes. You can be charged in state court as an adult if you're 15, 16, 17 years old. There are a lot of those cases out there. We've done a number of those in the last year or two. Now, most people do not know the new law. It's mandatory. They're going to be charged with a state crime. It's not going to be a youthful offender case anymore. They may actually go to a state prison in these cases. It's very, very serious. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, grandmother, grandfather, aunts, uncles, you need to be having these conversations with our young folks about their iPhones, their Androids. We're all human. We all know what it's like to be at that age and time. Anyway, we're about to go to a break here, folks. We've enjoyed the first half hour with you. This is the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, the Scotch drinking, road running, street lawyer, here for you every Saturday morning, live 105.5 FM, WERC. Call us, 439-9372, 439-WERC, questions at joeingramlaw.com. Listen to the commercial. We'll be back with you really soon. Thank you for being with us. We'll talk to you here really short. Thanks. Bye.
You're listening to the Legal Lowdown with Birmingham's lawyer, Joe Ingram. Joe is a 20-year veteran of the Alabama courts, specializing in criminal defense and family law. Call in live with your questions now at 439-9372. That's 439-9372. Or write Joe with your question for the show at questions@joeingramlaw.com. If you need a private legal consultation, email Joe at joeingramlaw.com. Now, welcome back to the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram.
We're back, 6:35, Saturday morning, December the 14th. The Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, the Scotch drinking, road running, street lawyer, here for you. The show that started in a basement is now in a Birmingham market to give you a voice that you need. Really fast, let's talk about the first 30 minutes. If you have a young person in your life, folks, this is really important to talk about an app on your phone that you can get called undressedai.com. If these young folks download this app, use it, take pictures of their fellow students, send it as a text message, they're publishing child porn. They're making child pornography. It's really important They're not going to be charged as a juvenile. They're going to be charged as an adult. Please check their phones. Everybody. It's really, really important. So let's talk about where we started. I'm Joe Ingram. I do family law, criminal law here in Alabama, Huntsville, Birmingham, Mobile, Montgomery. We handle juvenile cases, municipal cases, state felony cases. We handle serious felony cases, murder, rape, robbery, manslaughter cases, sex cases, federal cases, criminal cases. Maybe you're hurt on the job, have a worker comp case. Maybe you have an employment issue. Maybe you have a car wreck. You were hurt in a car. Maybe you were hit by a tractor trailer. Give us a call. We'll talk to you. If I can't help you, my vast network of people, we will get you to the right person that can help you with your case. That is our goal and our mission from this show. Give us a call, 205-439-9372, 205-439-WERC. Questions at joeingramlaw.com, questions@joeingramlaw.com, or you can call my office, 205-335-2640, 205-506-5590 as well. Maybe you are in an apartment or you rent a house. You have a landlord-tenant case. Heat's really important this time of year for you and your children. Maybe they cut the gas off. Maybe you don't have water. You need water to drink. Maybe they have really bad pest control. We'll talk about that as well. We also talked about the news, the Daniel Penny case up in New York, the manslaughter case. He got off. Well, he beat the criminal case. Here's the bad part, folks. They're fixing to tattoo him for a big civil lawsuit up in New York. I hope he doesn't spend the rest of his life paying a judgment for what he thought was doing the right thing. Well, Joe, he beat the criminal case. Yes, he did. Those are two distinct, separate issues. There's a criminal case and there is a civil case. Money, money, money. It's always follow the money. We're going to be bringing in some guests here over the next few weeks after we get through the holidays. Tell us what issues you want to talk about. What's important to you? Employment law. We'll get you one of those. So let's talk about where we started back last week. The Christmas party. The Christmas party. Yep. Here we go, folks. You go to the Christmas party, the people you see every day or remotely once a week when you go in, or you remote in. You go to the Christmas party. You drink beer, wine, scotch, vodka, couple shots, champagne. You get happy. You get hyped up. You start dancing. You make some bad decisions. Now you start making bad decisions. Here's what's fixing to happen. There's a person that you work with, a coworker. They're very attractive. They're very attractive to you. You let your guard down a little bit. You start dancing. You make some bad decisions. You cross the line just a little bit. Hello? Guess what you got? Now you got an HR case. Human resources is involved. Should they have a video camera in the Christmas party recording you to make sure that you didn't do something inappropriate? Surely with everybody in a cell phone, there's enough evidence to either convict you or prove you committed sexual harassment. You go to work on Monday? Can you come down to corporate? Can you come down to HR? HR? Yes, sir. Can you come down to HR? Okay. Do you remember Friday night at the Christmas party when you were really, really inebriated? You got hyped up, made some bad decisions? You crossed the line with your coworker. It's sexual harassment. You touched the person. Do you know that when you got in your car and you were so drunk and you were driving down the road and you were texting her, you sent her some pictures inappropriately. You made inappropriate comments to her. It's unprofessional. It's not allowed. You're a liability now. We're either going to reprimand you, suspend you, maybe terminate you right here at Christmas time for a decision you made at a Christmas party. You got hyped up, jacked up on some alcohol. You made some really bad decisions. If that is you and you're in that position, give us a call, Birmingham. We'll talk to you. We'll get you the help you need. It happens this time every year. Got a call this week from it. Got a question. Just came into the show. Give me just a second, folks. Somebody says, may I own and carry a gun if I have been charged with a felony in the past? Ladies and gentlemen, I get these calls every month. It's called a felon in possession of a firearm. If you are a convicted felon, you do not have the right, I'm sorry, under the Second Amendment of the Constitution. You have forfeited that right to own a firearm. You can't. If you get caught, you can be charged in federal court, 18 U.S.C. 922 G1. 18 U.S.C. 922 G1. Convicted felon in possession of a firearm. No, you can't do that. Well, Joe, I'm married. My wife has never been in trouble with the law. Can she own a gun? Yes, absolutely. Second Amendment. Right to bear firearms. Absolutely. Gun-loving, gun-toting person here. You have a right to carry a gun if you're not a convicted felon. Where's the line? What's the distinction? Well, if you share a bedroom, hopefully your spouse keeps it in her nightstand, locks it up on her side of the bed. She has a gun permit. It's her gun. She can say that she purchased it. It's her firearm. What if you take her car to the grocery store and she leaves her gun under the driver's seat and you get stopped for a ticket or a DUI? Or you've been there. Once you're a convicted felon, they go run your past and they run an NCIC report. Billy here has 2 felonies. He's got a gun under the seat. Can you step out of the car? Sure, sir. What'd I do wrong? There's a gun under your seat. It's not my gun. It's my wife's gun. Yeah, right. Tell it to the judge. You're going to jail. You're a convicted felon. This is your gun. It's not my gun. Word of the wise, folks. There is nothing at this moment in time you can say to the police officer to help you. You're in custody. Every word you say can and will be used against you. Just be quiet. Just go through the motions. We'll work it out another day. This isn't the time to argue with the police officer. They have the badge. They have the gun. We respect police officers. They do really good work. Most of them are very, very professional at their job. It's something we got to work through. We will. Thank you for the question. Very important question. We get those every week in our office. And with the new administration coming in, I'm going to predict, and I'll share some statistics coming up, folks, here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to prove to you, I'm going to show to you, federal charges, federal cases are going to go back up under the new administration. It's just a fact. It's always a fact. Depending on who's in charge in government in Washington. Crimes, federal crimes, the convictions have been way, way down the last 4 years. They are significantly going to go back up here under the new administration. So if you want to talk about the news, Daniel Penny, Fannie Willis, the pardons of Joe Biden, the 1,500 pardons that he issued on a Friday afternoon, It's Friday news. They do a Friday news dump because nobody pays attention. Unless you listen to talk radio, you don't know what just happened yesterday. Who got out? I'm all for people getting a second chance. Some of these people, a little scary, folks. I want my street safe. This is the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer. Coming to you from 105.5 FM, just off the campus of the beautiful UAB. What started out as a podcast is now a Birmingham Market radio show here for you to talk about your legal needs, your questions, your issues that are important in your daily life. We're here to talk about what's important to you. Maybe you can't afford a lawyer. Well, this is your chance. This is your voice. We're here to help you in your time of need. That is our goal. That is our mission. That is our quest. Have another question that just came in. Retirement money in a divorce. I have been married for 8 years and going through a divorce. May I get a portion of his retirement? Well, two thoughts here. One is the always legal law student is answer. It depends. And two, if you're married 10 years by law, you're almost golden. It's a golden ticket. If they're the breadwinner, you've been married for 10 years, you co-mingle funds, he's the breadwinner, she's the breadwinner, you're probably going to get a percentage of their retirement account. You're probably going to get a percentage of their pension. Maybe they work for a union. Had this one case, this person, their spouse worked for 2 unions. We did a really good job setting up the retirement package for them and the way we structured how they're going to get paid in about 20 years when the person starts drawing their pennies, their 401k, their pension, their retirement money. Yes, if you need to call us Monday, give us a call at the office, 205-335-2640, 205-506-5590. We'll talk to you. We'll get you in. We will help you with your divorce case. It's that time of year. Here in about 2 weeks, Christmas is over, folks. Everybody's broke. Everybody's overspent on the MasterCard, the American Express, the Visa. The bills are coming in. The bills are coming. The bills are coming. Bankruptcies go up. Bankruptcies go up. And so do divorces come January. It happens this time every year. Oh, and most people are really happy to do it in February because that's when they get their tax refund check. Joe, just as soon as the tax refund check comes in from H&R Block, I'm going to come down and pay you for the divorce and get rid of the person. I go. We're here. We'll be there. We'll be waiting on you. So let's talk a little bit about the topic last week that got so much feedback at the office, it was unreal. Christmas time with the custodial, non-custodial parent with the children. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Who gets what? How much time do you get? What do you do? Let's say you're the non-custodial parent. You have your traditional Christmas Eve get-together with your family on Christmas Eve. Joe, I just received a call from my ex-spouse. They backed out on me. I'm not getting the kids on Christmas Eve. What do I do? We're a little late. They've pushed you to the last minute. Maybe we can still work it out. Maybe reasonable heads will prevail. Maybe we can talk sense into this person. Your Christmas tradition. You go to candlelight. You have a dinner. Your family's there. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sisters, your in-laws, your nieces, your nephews. You open presents on Christmas Eve. You work all year for that one moment to spend with your children and your iPhone or your Android and take pictures of them opening their Christmas presents. and it's going to be robbed from you this year. You only get so many shots at the apple of that moment in time with your children. Joe, this year I'm supposed to get Christmas Day. The order says I get even years, she gets odd years, or he gets even years, I get odd years. Whichever way it goes, mother, father, I'm not getting the kids for Christmas Day. What do I do? What does my family do? What do we do? What recourse do I have? What remedies do I have? Well, we can try to file something with the court really, really fast. Maybe we can do an intervention. Do they have a lawyer? We get on the phone. We make some phone calls. We have a Zoom call. Can we be reasonable? Can we be adults? Can we do what's in the best interest of the child? That's what this is about. It's not a power struggle between mom and dad. It's called the best interest of the children. Yeah, that's what this is about. It's always about the children in every family scenario. Mom, dad, kids, grandparents, in-laws. Learning the family traditions in your home. Hearing the stories about your grandfather who went to war, who doesn't talk about it. He just did his duty. Let's talk about Grandmother Millie. Grandmother Millie, every dog was named, I don't know, Fido. Every dog was named Fido. Oh, and Millie was so proper and pristine, she also dipped snuff. She dipped snuff. Yeah. It's 6:53 Birmingham. Some of you are just now waking up, having that first cup of coffee. We want to be part of your Saturday routine. This is a Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, your scotch drinking, road running street lawyer, here to give you a voice about your needs, your legal issues that you have, whether it's criminal, family law, employment law, plaintiff case, worker comp case, whatever you need, whatever you want to talk about, we're here for you. If you want to email us, questions@joeingramlaw.com, questions@joeingramlaw.com. Top of the hour, we're going to have a good guest at probably 7:05. Folks, it's time to wake up. It's time to take the kids for extracurricular activities. You're having that cup of coffee. Maybe you're having eggnog with just a little bit of net mug. Eggs, bacon. I can smell it. Good stuff, good stuff. Maybe you're having waffles with maple syrup. It's pretty good in December. You have to get back on the strict diet come January. Most people gain, I think, generally 5 to 10 pounds between Thanksgiving, first of the year. Unless you run like me, I run 40 miles a week. This week, 2 days when I ran, I took a chance at 3:30. Sun's out. Wasn't really cold. Wind was blowing. I thought, do I need the gloves today? No, we're good. 6 miles in. You know what? The gloves might have been a good idea. Should have brought the gloves with me. Got back. I'm frozen. My skin is red and blue. My hands are numb. I can't feel the steering wheel. So if you're down in Homewood around the track shack, you probably just finished your 6-mile run through Homewood. God love you. I'll be out there in about an hour and 5 minutes hitting the road down Demerson Trail through Mountain Brook Parkway. Please, folks, don't hit me when I cross the street across Montevallo Road into Crestline Village. So, we're almost at the bottom of the hour. It's been a good hour. We've talked to one person. We've had a couple of good questions. Give us a call if you're waking up. This is the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer. 205-439-9372, 205-439-WERC. Or you can email us at the show, questions at joeingramlaw.com. Questions at joeingramlaw.com if you have a matter you'd like to discuss, but you don't want to be on the air. If you have a sensitive topic that you need help with, and we'll get you back in the office and talk to you. We'll be back at the top of the hour. We're fixing to do news and weather. It's 6:57, Birmingham. This is the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, the Scotch drinking, road running, street lawyer, here for you, just on the south side of Birmingham.
There's another hour
We'll be back.
of the Legal Lowdown with Birmingham's lawyer, Joe Ingram, heading your way. You can ask your question live on the air at 439-9372. That's 439-9372. Or send Joe your question for air via email at questions@ingramlaw.com. If you need a private legal consultation, contact Joe directly at joeingramlaw.com. Stand by for more of the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram right after news, weather, and traffic from News Radio 105.5 WERC. He's a tough street-fighting lawyer with the highest ratings for honesty and integrity. He's here for you every Saturday morning to answer your legal questions and get you the help you need. You're listening to the Legal Lowdown with Birmingham's lawyer, Joe Ingram of Ingram Law, live from the studios of News Radio 105.5 WERC. Call in now, 439-9372. That's 439-9372, and ask Joe your legal question, or email the show at questions@joeingramlaw.com. Joe Ingram has more than 20 years experience fighting for his clients here in the state of Alabama. Joe's focus is criminal defense and family law. You don't have to face your legal issue alone. You've got Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, on your side. In case of sensitive legal matters, you can always reach out directly to Joe at joeingramlaw.com and arrange for a private consultation. And now, Birmingham's defender of the defenseless, protector of the people, and all-around good guy, Joe Ingram.
All right. We're back. It's the second hour, 7:07, Saturday morning, December the 14th. Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, the Scotch drinking, road running, street lawyer, here for you for your legal needs. What started as a podcast 2 years ago is now in the Birmingham market as a radio show for you and your legal needs. We have a really good guest. We have two gentlemen with us this morning that are private investigators that we teased up the first hour. Now we're going to figure out what they do. I think they're with us. Corey and Mr. Hammond.
How you doing, Joe?
Corey.
Hey, good morning, Joe. It's Jeff.
Jeff and Corey. How are you guys?
Doing well.
All right.
Well, I'm cold. I'm sitting in a car, but go ahead.
Don't tell us where you are.
Yeah. It is a great show, Joe. You're doing a wonderful job, and you're doing a wonderful service to the public, getting some of these Christmas time incidences out there that a lot of the population really endure.
Well, thank you. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and plug it and tell you, these two gentlemen brought me 4 bottles of Scotch this week. It was really good.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoy it. We believe in versatility and overpowering. If one didn't get you, maybe the other one will.
Yeah, I didn't drink all 4 yet, but thank you.
Well, I know a DUI lawyer if you do.
Okay. Look, this is your time to talk why it's important to have a private investigator. I'm going to tee it up to either Corey or Jeff. I'm going to let you guys pick which we want to talk about. I got 4 good questions I want to talk about this morning. Okay? Why investigating important? Digital forensics. Sounds like a spy movie. Walk us through a case where uncovering hidden data or deleted files completely turn the tables, and why you should, as a business or an individual, consider this kind of investigation before it is too late.
Well, Joe, and then go ahead, Corey. You start it off.
I was going to say the two biggest cases that I can remember working on. So, one, you mentioned alimony reduction earlier, and then also divorce. So, one case we had was a double whammy. We had a lady that claimed she had no income, and then also she claimed that she wasn't cheating on her husband. So, we were allowed, with the order, to get the phone. We were able to extract her OnlyFans contract to prove that she had income coming in from OnlyFans. And then also the images and other media on her phone we were able to extract for proving infidelity for her OnlyFans productions. So that was a double whammy there. One of the biggest cases that we've done that. And then the other thing is location data. Where was this person, in an auto accident? Where was this person on you could do it for criminal cases as well, murder cases. Was this person in the area? Looking through different apps, also different operating systems, iOS or Android. Mobile forensics is probably the biggest thing that we do. That key location data can really help a case.
Hey, on the case of the cell phone, do you gentlemen use for the forensic phone dump? Is it Cellbrite? Is that the technology you use?
That's one of them. So the problem is with each one of these different tools is a lot of investigators, they just know the tool, right? And if you say you spent money and you bought Celebrate, but it hasn't updated to the latest operating system, you're trying to break into this phone, then you're going to have to use maybe a Belkin Soft or another Gray Key, another different software. So we use various softwares depending on the cell phone and depending on what operating system it's going off of, what updates it has, and different things that we'd have to do with it.
Let me ask you this question. I had this come up in a couple cases this summer. It's my understanding the people that sell Cellbrite, I think it comes out of Texas. Is it true that you sign an agreement you cannot use Cellbrite in a divorce case? Is that correct, or did the investigator give me bad information on that case?
It's used in divorce cases all the time. I wasn't aware of that.
I've not seen anything in the contractual agreements for the software that would indicate. It seems a little odd to produce a product that is widely used for these things and then say you can't use it. But my advice after 31 years of this is if you put it on an electronic device, if you send it, save it, store it, it's not just saved on that device. It's transmitted to various clouds. There are apps that share information, and then they hold those pieces of data. So if you're doing something and then you destroy your phone, we still have the ability to image the cloud and then dissect that information from the cloud, not just the phone. So yep. There's a route. But my warning is just don't send it, save it, or store it if you don't want to have to show it someday in court.
Yeah. All right. Next question, Corey and Jeff. Surveillance is glamorized in the movies, but in real life, it's a meticulous process. What's the wildest or most high-stakes surveillance operation you've ever been a part of? And how do you decide if someone's suspicious, like cheating spouse or corporate espionage, justify hiring you, the investigator? Tell us about that.
Jeff, you want to tee that up first?
Yeah, so two things that investigators provide right out of the gate is in a domestic situation or for lawyers, peace of mind for the client or a piece of evidence for the lawyer. All of those begin somewhere with a gut instinct. And, so we'll focus today, right now, on family law. It could be corporate. There could be something that rings in the manager's head. And we do those. We do put salespeople under surveillance because they're violating a term of their contract for this one company. There's a variety of things that people can engage the surveillance for. And it is over-glamorized by Hollywood. And it's probably the most difficult skill set as a private investigator to master. I mean, some people hunt and fish. We look at people that can hunt us back, that can trick us or bring us into an ambush. We could, run the covertness of the case. And then in a family law situation, that just brings the real embarrassment back home to the client. They have to live with this person till you can master the finanglings and the final divorce. But knowing that they hired an investigator and that investigator compromised the surveillance in some way is a really tough thing to recover from in family law. Corporate law, it's a little bit different. As long as, there's not a tort revolving or coming out of the engagement there, then, it's a slap on the cheek and you move on. But in the family law, it impacts everyone for years.
Yes, sir. Hey, Corey, before we get too far into this, when I spoke with you this week, Corey, you were in the military.
Yes, sir. So was Jeff. Jeff was a Marine, and I was an Army officer. Yes, sir.
Well, before I get into in this, thank you both for your service to our country. It's really important. Thank you. Corey is what we call a military brat. Corey's been all over the world, haven't you, Corey?
Yes, sir. Born in Germany.
Corey, I told you. Joe, do not say sir to me. Come on.
That's that military coming out.
Don't do that. We talked about you being in the woods doing surveillance. You didn't realize that your life's work, your occupation was going to come back in your second career. Your skill set really sets you up to really do a good job in what you do now.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. And, it doesn't automatically translate. You take those skills, whether it's being able to speak, if you have to go testify on the stand and not being timid about speaking, because you've got to lead, when leading soldiers, you've got to speak daily, multiple times a day. It could be 40 people, it could be 300 people you're going to have to speak in front of. Then with the surveillance aspect of it, just having that attention to detail that they teach you from the most basic form of training, whether it's boot camp, the basic officer course, whatever, just that attention to detail, because that's what really sets people apart, is being able to, one, focus for long periods of time and just to be able to notice the little things. But like I said, some people take for granted their law enforcement or military experience, and it doesn't automatically translate.
Yeah. Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Man, I want you to talk about this. This is really important. It's really impressive. Lawyers know this. The general public does not. You're not just a private investigator. You're on the board in Montgomery for the private investigators of Alabama. Talk about that for a minute.
Yes, sir. As with any licensed profession, private investigators fell under a regulatory act. We self-fell. We wanted this act. At one time, there were felons. You could have been convicted of a child molestation case and work a child custody case as soon as you got out of prison. It was ridiculous. We competed against felons, so we cleaned up Alabama. You now have to pass a test. And now, if you want to be an investigator, you actually have to go through an apprentice program to learn the skill sets that Corey and I have been discussing. We inherited from the military, and there is a basic test to get in, but it does not put the investigator into the field without having to go through the apprentice program to learn the nuances of what we do. But yes, I've spent 31 years earning an income, putting kids through college, raising a family, on this style work, and it's all I've ever done. I love it. I mean, it fits my mentality. It fits my personality. There's a lot of people who can't adjust to the job and the lifestyle. We don't work a 9 to 5. We are 24/7, and we are trying to put as many investigators in the field as we can on a daily basis. And to us, it's a business with a specialized skill set, much like a lawyer, a doctor, a psychologist, all of these different facets of professions that you as a lawyer will reach out to for a certain element of the puzzle that you're putting together for the judge, the divorce, the case, the defense, the plaintiff, whichever one you're working for. And then we just interject as investigators, to support that. And I found through that leadership is one of those areas that I can excel in. And yes, I'm on the regulatory board. I'm a certified trainer. I can give CLEs. I can teach. I'm as high as I can go. And that's why now Corey is involved in my operation, because he has been able to take the 31 years and take an old man who is ingrained in certain ways of doing things and bring it into the new world, the new technology, and what the new lawyers need.
Let me ask you something. I would presume you're up on all the latest spy technology. I have a case right now. I was really shocked how small the recorder was to go get the statement. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And video. Look,
how much does that cost, that little gem in your pocket where you record them? Where do you get that?
So some of that is your poor man's James Bond, as I would classify it. You create your own. Others, you buy it on the internet. And that's an interesting question. Can I say for about, Corey, $75 or less, $20 for the camera, you can put a recording device in someone's location, either audio, video, or a combination of both, transmit that location to a cloud, and then download it later for less than $100. But it will take about $45,000 to $75,000 worth of counter technical surveillance, counter equipment to find that $100 device. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, piece of advice: careful where you take your clothes off. Right, protect your children, because cameras are widely purchased in the United States and installed widely. It's a huge industry.
Yeah, I was involved with a case a couple years ago. A person had put cameras in the bathroom behind the electrical plates or the electrical sockets, and was taking pictures of people in the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had an apartment manager that installed one in an apartment, and then he would sabotage certain women's apartments, power, water, heating, whatever. And then during the repairs, they would stay in this, quote, extra unit, because the repairs were finished. It was wired with cameras all over the place, and he was transmitting that stuff and selling it online.
Man.
It's crazy, isn't it? So let's take one area, since we're talking about cameras and we have a few minutes. If a client, for example, that we're representing in a domestic situation feels that their spouse is going to entertain at the marital residence, and that is a common activity. People do bring their paramours back to the house when the spouse is out of town or not at the home. So the spouse decides to put some cameras in the home, much like you described. They put them in the bedrooms, they put them in the bathrooms, they put them everywhere while they're out of town, because they want either the peace of mind or piece of evidence needed to show that something's wrong or something bad is happening at home. Unfortunately, that's just not the time that the affair occurs. But what occurs is the child next door, your neighbor, comes over to go swimming, and they change in a bedroom where you have a camera. Now, all of that information, that video, is uploaded into a cloud, and then you get curious, you look, and you go, oh, wow, nothing's going on. They've been swimming, and you kind of overlook that they changed clothes. You have now stored that image of that child in a state of undress. You've transmitted it, you've documented it, and now you trying to prove an affair has obtained some form of child in a state of undress. What would you tell that client to do? You know, you're in that quandary now where they didn't listen to either the lawyer or the investigator. They went too far, and now they committed a felony. And those situations occur. They occur all the time.
Oh, yeah. This is Corey and Jeff of Spy for Rent. They're private investigators in Alabama. If you need them, you can look them up. You can call them. They'll be glad to help you. They've been very kind with their time this morning. All right, guys, I got really 2 more points I want to hit with you that we talked about. This is really important for the average person out there that may need your services really, really soon after the first of the year. AI. I love artificial intelligence. It's changing everything, including investigations. How are you using AI to uncover truths or track down leads? Does it make you more powerful than ever as a private investigator?
Yeah, so I think everybody's using AI on this for, in the law profession, legal profession. For us specifically, some of the things it can do is location data. Where was this photo taken? So, for instance, you take an image and can see the background. One of the cases we were working, somebody had taken their kids to Africa, kidnapped their kids, and you can use a picture to see where they were. They were in Kenya, I believe. I can't remember the exact specifics, but without AI, that would have been nearly impossible to do. The other thing is looking through data. It just makes it a lot faster to analyze data and see anomalies with documents. Were these documents forged, et cetera? Was this video altered? It can clean up audio. For instance, if you have a recording but it's a little fuzzy, AI can be used for that. And then also facial recognition. Maybe you couldn't get a tag. You just saw somebody and you need to identify this individual, whether it was business meeting, who was this paramour in a domestic case, and you don't have any information on them. But the technology is getting so good that it can find a good amount of people as long as you have the good quality cameras that we use to find them. It's not 100%, but it's getting better every day.
Talk a little bit about, I just had a brain fog. The little thing you put on somebody's car, the tracker to follow them. What's
GPS device?
The GPS device. Talk about that for a second. That is so huge in my divorce cases. Talk about that.
Well, let me say that Alabama passed a law now, and GPS devices are illegal under certain conditions or can be used under certain conditions. And you, as a lawyer, would probably want to go over the statute with your private investigator. You really, as a client, would want to walk this path carefully. You have to have an ownership interest in order to track property.
Right.
It's illegal to track a person. And investigators are misguided in that. I ask the question all the time, why did you place the GPS on the device? And they said, well, to track the person.
Hey, Jeff, this is really good. Yes, this is really important. We're going to take a break here for about a minute or so. Can you guys hang on and come back, and let's continue this here in just a second? I really want the public to hear this. This is really important.
Sure.
All right, we're going to take a break. Again, this is the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, your Scotch drinking, road running, street lawyer. Birmingham is 728. Wake up. We're on the south side. Let us hear from you. Questions at joeingramlaw.com. We got good investigators with us this morning from Spy for Rent. Come back. We'll be with you shortly. Thanks. Bye.
You're listening to the Legal Lowdown with Birmingham's lawyer, Joe Ingram. If you need confidential legal help off air, reach out to Joe at joeingramlaw.com. Stay tuned for more. Joe will be right back after this break for news and weather on News Radio 105.5 WERC. You're listening to the Legal Lowdown with Birmingham's lawyer, Joe Ingram. Joe is a 20-year veteran of the Alabama courts, specializing in criminal defense and family law. Call in live with your questions now at 439-9372. That's 439-9372. Or write Joe with your question for the show at questions@joeingramlaw.com. If you need a private legal consultation, email Joe at joeingramlaw.com. Now, welcome back to the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram.
All right. We're back at 7:35. It's the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, the Scotch drinking, road running street lawyer they let on the air just off the south side of Birmingham, WERC. Now, give us a call, 205-439-9372, 205-439-WERC. Or email us, questions@joeingramlaw.com, questions@joeingramlaw.com. Folks, if you've tuned in this morning, we have two wonderful guests, Spy for Rent, two private investigators. I work with them. I love them. They brought me scotch this week. Folks, start bringing me scotch to my office. You might get some free legal work. We're going to go back to Jeff. Jeff, this is really important. We talked about it before the break. Let's talk about this GPS issue in a divorce case.
Okay, so we're using the term GPS, the little device, the bug we're going to put on a car and track the property. But it's an electronic, and you're already being tracked through your cell phone. So focusing just on that is just one of many hammers of electronics that people can engage to track another item, the phone, the car, the whatever. So the law was passed, and it makes it illegal for an individual to place a GPS on a vehicle without ownership. So don't hire an investigator to track someone unless you really actually own the item. And if you have a divorce case and the parties are fighting and some type of protective order, restraining order, protection from abuse is issued during that litigation process, then it becomes a felony automatically for the individual, and
Right.
it's mandated jail time.
Right.
So
If you violate the PFA,
$55,
you get charged.
$55 device, it'll get you 10 years in jail.
Yeah. A little overkill, I think.
Yeah, well, but electronics are to track are widely engaged already, and it doesn't have to be a GPS. Modern day vehicles now come with SIMS cards. Were you aware of that?
Oh,
And we
absolutely.
can pop the SIMS card out and read the data location stored in the phone, stored the text message. Everything you do on your phone that syncs to your car is stored in your car. So it's just another avenue for us in forensics to be able to go in and retract information and dissect.
Yeah. I drive a Volvo, and there's an app for Volvo.com. I can start my car sitting here, warm it up. At the same time, you can track me all over the globe. Where is Joe sitting if we want to take a headshot of Joe? Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay, guys. This has been Corey and John, private investigator, Spy for Rent. Jeff and Corey, 738 Birmingham. Guys, thank you for being guests. Look forward to having you again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service to our country. Y'all have a great week, okay? All right.
Everybody enjoy the scotch.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, guys, we got a caller calling in. A gentleman named John is calling in. We lose him? Kyle. Oh, it's Kyle. Excuse me. Kyle's calling in. Kyle, you with us?
I'm here.
Kyle.
I'm here.
Thank you for calling. How can I help you?
Well, Mr. Ingram, I have a question for you. My girlfriend put out a PFA on me. I don't understand what I need to do.
Okay, Kyle. Thank you for calling. I'm sorry this has happened to you. Have you been served with the PFA?
Yes.
When did you get served?
Officer showed up at my house
When did you
the
get
other
served?
day. 2 days ago.
Okay. This is really important. Kyle. Do you have any weapons?
I do.
Did the officers ask you if you have weapons? And if they did they take them?
No, not at all. He asked me who I was. And this is where I lived, and he handed me a piece of paper, and that was it.
Okay. Have you sought out or seeked legal representation for this PFA?
No, I didn't know what to do at all. That's why I called you.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling. This is really important. They're going to set a hearing really, really fast now that you've been served. In fact, they could set it within 10 days, but they probably won't do the holidays. They'll probably set it right after the first year. You're entitled to a hearing under the due process law for the PFA. You need to get counsel immediately. You really need to get counsel immediately. It can affect your job. It can affect where you work. It can affect where you live. It could affect your entire life. It could affect you ever owning a gun again if we have a trial and the PFA is put in force permanently against you. So, I don't know where you are, John. I don't want you to tell me on the air. I don't know what part of town you're in. Gardendale, Fultondale, Warrior, Kimberly, Homewood, Hoover, Vestavia, Mountain Brook, Chelsea, Calera, Alabaster, Pelham. I don't know where you are. Jefferson, Shelby County, Blount, Tuscaloosa. You need to hire a lawyer. If you need to, call me this week. 205-335-2640. We'll have a consultation. We'll see if we can help you. Okay?
I think I'll definitely be calling you then.
It's really important. I don't know what the allegations are. I don't want you to say it on the air. It doesn't help you. But we need to address this immediately for you and your future career. Okay?
Okay. Can I ever talk to my girlfriend again? Is that the thing?
Well,
I'll be able
you
to
can't
do?
right now. I'm pretty sure there is an order in place, no contact with her, either phone, text, email, smoke screen, no communication with her right now. Okay?
Okay.
And give us a call this week at the office. Look us up, joeingramlaw.com. We will be glad to talk to you. If we can help you, I'll be glad to represent you. Okay?
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Ingram.
Thank you for calling in, Kyle, and I'm sorry this happened to you. This happens a lot in life today. This didn't happen 30 years ago. It does now. It's really important for your career to protect yourself. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day, Kyle, and I wish you the best. And thank you for listening to the show. Please listen in on Saturday mornings.
Okay. Thank you. You have a good day too now.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Okay, folks, it's 7:42 Saturday morning, December the 14th. You just got up. You just had that cup of coffee. We want to be part of your Saturday routine. Maybe you're having eggnog with just a touch of nutmeg. Maybe you're having eggs and bacon. Maybe you're having waffles and syrup. Maybe if you're like me, you would be on the road right now running through Home One in Mountain Brook. And you get to smell the fireplaces at Christmas. Oh, it's a lovely smell. You get to smell eggs and bacon. You get to smell the bakery. Makes you really hungry when you're out there running, freezing to death with water or Gatorade and a pair of gloves and goo. Joe, what is goo? Goo is something you use for potassium to help you with your electrolytes when you run 6 to 10 miles. I'll be out there in about 30 minutes on the road running my race. All right. So we've had a really good show today. They let us back in the studio. They didn't run us out. Legal Lowdown, Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer, the Scotch drinking, road running street lawyer, here for you to talk about your legal needs, your issues. What started in as a basement became a Birmingham market radio show to help you with your family law issue, divorce, custody case, alimony, PFA, protection from abuse order, to help you with your criminal case, juvenile for your son, your daughter, for something in my time 30 years ago was called stupid kid stuff, has now been codified, statute. Now it's a crime. Stupid kid stuff is now something that could hurt your young one, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your grandson, your grandchild for the rest of their life. They need a voice. They need an advocate. I'm here for you. I love to help juveniles like me get on the right course and the right path in life. If you have a serious felony case, give us a call. Wherever you are, we handle cases from Huntsville, Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile. We'll even go to Dothan. If you got serious money, you know it's a joke. It's an inside joke. We tell it all the time. We also handle federal criminal cases all over the state. Northern District, Middle District, Southern District. If you have a federal case, felon in possession of a firearm, federal drug case, maybe it's fentanyl, it's rapid, it's really, really scary, it's really dangerous. You need to get serious representation. If you look at national federal statistics, if you're indicted in federal court, there's a 94% chance from the day you're indicted, you're going to be convicted. If you go to trial, it goes to 96. If it goes to the jury, the conviction rate goes to 97%. Yeah, that's national statistics. We didn't have any biters this morning to call in about the Daniel Penny case up in New York. He beat the manslaughter case. I think it was the right verdict. Good for him. But he's fixing to get tattooed for a civil judgment in a civil case. Is that right? Whatever your opinion is, I can argue either side of it for you. And the Georgia prosecutor, Fannie Willis, what is she doing with federal funds? Why is she meeting with a federal prosecutor, Jack Smith? Are they conspiring? I don't know. She's been served to see her records. What are your phone records? How many times did you meet with the federal prosecutor? Why did you meet with him? She won't turn over the documents. If you remember what I said from my era, in 1980, Colonel Oliver North, Marine under President Reagan, under the Iran-Contra scenario, he's in there shredding documents as the feds walked in. He shredded them fast, fast, fast. I love Oliver North. Today, you don't shred documents as much. You're bleach bidding, you're hammering the equipment, hoping to get it off the cloud. That's what you hope to do. Yesterday was Friday. It's what we call a news dump. You dump really bad news on a Friday afternoon because nobody cares. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. Everybody's out drinking in the bars. Joe Biden issued 1,500 pardons yesterday. Now, I have no problem with people getting a second chance. No problem. Go research the 1,500 pardons, see who got them. How did they get them? Usually, there's a connection somewhere. Somebody put a name up to somebody because they had an interest in it. Will you pardon this person on the way out the door? Oh, sure, I'll do it. Did you read the file? Do you know what they did? Do you know what they're convicted of? Do you know they owe the government $100,000? We'll give them a second chance. They're rehabilitated. It's really important. Everybody has redeeming qualities. If you remember at the beginning of the show, we talked about justice and mercy. There's justice. There's also mercy for the defendant. That is my role, is to be merciful. We have enough justice. We also need mercy. It's 7:48, guys. We're about to get through the second show here. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for being a part of us. We've had 4 questions. We've had 2 callers today. The lady that called about her child and the nude photos and the Alabama Child Protection Act. Please call my office this week. That's really, really important. Kyle, please call us about the PFA. It's really, really important. Really enjoyed our guest panel this week. Private investigators, Spy for Rent, Mr. Hammock and Corey. If you need an investigator, they're really good. They can fix you up. They can help you. If you need some peace, if you think there's infidelity, if you want to try to terminate that alimony that you're tattooed with for the next 20, 30 years, we've done that a couple of times. If you listen to my podcast, I had one gentleman that was so happy that the alimony was terminated, probably saved him $200,000 or $300,000. That $300,000 invested for him in the stock market over the next 30 years at 7%, probably worth $900,000 to him. $900,000 for a little investment in a really good lawyer to help them get their case off. That is our mission. That is our stick. That is our case in doing this show to help you every week. So at 7:50, we're about to wrap up. You guys are about to go out. You're about to take the kiddies to do their extracurricular activities. Maybe they're going ice skating. Maybe they're going to go see Santa today to have their picture made with Santa. Used to love that with my sister, have her pictures made in matching outfits. She was older than me. I never looked really happy about that. If you're going to get the Christmas tree, folks, it's the 14th. You got 11 days. We need to put the tree up tonight. Drink a little scotch. If you're going out Christmas shopping, buy something good. Buy something that'll be memorable, not for today, for the next 30 years. Buy them a book. I love books. My dad was an avid reader. He read 10 books a week. He implored me to go to the library with him and get books every week. I did the math the other day. By the time I was 16, 17 years old, I think I'd read 1,900 books. Not on the level of today, but reading for young folks and children are the greatest gift you can give them. A public library card is the equivalency of a fancy degree from a university today. And even better than that, guess what? Google. You can Google any subject you want to know, learn, research, write about, learn. YouTube. I watch YouTube how to put caulk on my new marble bathroom sink that the plumber forgot to put the caulk on the marble the other day. I didn't do a really good job. I was Clark Griswold in my bathroom with the caulk. I glued my hands together. I called my wife. I said, hey, I'm supposed to be in the office in 10 minutes. My hands are glued together. What'd I do? She said, either get nail polish remover or some gasoline, but you got to get your hands unglued. You got to be at the office in a few minutes. You have a consult. Folks, this is the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, Birmingham's lawyer. You can call us 205-439-9372, 205-439-WERC. You can send us a question, questions at joeingramlaw.com, questions at joeingramlaw.com. You can call the office this week if you have a sensitive issue in nature and you do not want to talk about it on the air. 205-335-2640. 205-506-5590. We can talk to you. If we need to, we'll get you in for a consult. Okay? And we'll see if we can help you. If I cannot help you, I'll point you in the right direction. Folks, if you're going out this weekend, if you remember the first hour, you're going to that work Christmas party, hello, don't get drunk and make some bad decisions, get hyped up and dancing and start hitting on your coworker. Make sure there's a video in the room so you don't get charged with sexual harassment on Monday. Maybe get hit with probation. Maybe get hit with a suspension, or say, hey, you're a liability. You're out the door. You hit on your coworker. You got in your car, you were drinking, you texted her some inappropriate stuff. You might want to go home and tell your wife you have a real issue now. Not only do you might have a HR issue, a job issue, you might be facing, a divorce issue. That's what we call a double whammy, 2 issues in one. Every day of the week. We get those in December. The other big thing that we talked about from last week that carried over this week that got so much attention was visitation with the kiddies at Christmas time. Who gets Christmas Eve? Who gets Christmas Day? Do I have to bring them back before they open their presents? Can I let them stay to noon, to lunchtime? Joe, I was supposed to get the children on Christmas Eve. It's our family tradition. We go to candlelight service. We have a family dinner. We have a duck. We have filet mignon. You know, all these great things. We hold hands. We pray. We sit around a Christmas tree. We pull out our iPhones, our Androids. We take pictures. I work all year to have this moment with my child. You only get so many shots at the apple, folks, to have those moments, and then they're gone. By the time they're 16, they don't want to be with mom or dad. You're the last person they want to talk to is mom or dad at 16. Their voice in their head is Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Their buddies, their friends at school. You're just an idiot in the room. They don't think you know anything. They don't think you lived and did it. I did everything. I did it all, guys. I had homeroom in the principal's office when I was in high school for stupid kid stuff. Yeah, I did. And then I grew up, had some jobs, finally got some direction, went to college, Sanford University. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Run past it. We're about to tee it up. Okay, this is my final word of the week. And this is for all you that are graduating today, especially for people that are about to embark upon a legal career. Don't start a legal career because it looked cool in suits. Your pants. Your parents are lawyers. You want to be a millionaire. You want to impress some people. You think about it, all your secret details. Start a career as a lawyer because you want to help people. You want to continue to learn, be a lifelong learner. You're curious about how things work. You want to navigate rules for solutions. This is the legal industry. It's a slow, ever-changing career to help people serve people. You have to be a lifelong learner. You got to be in it for the long game. Have a good week. We'll see you. Have a good week. Joe Ingram, Legal Lowdown, Birmingham's lawyer. Scotch, drinking, road running. Have a good week. Bye.
Birmingham's own Joe Ingram of Ingram Law. Don't forget to follow Joe's Legal Lowdown podcast on iHeart. If you need a private legal consultation, reach out to Joe on his website, joeingramlaw.com. Tune in again next Saturday at 6 a.m. for the Legal Lowdown with Joe Ingram, exclusively on News Radio 105.5 WERC.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by any other lawyer.